We spend about $14 billion a year on energy just in Oregon. Most of that money goes out of the state, and much of it goes out of the country. But renewable energy and clean tech energy, energy efficiency can help keep more of our dollars in the state, energy dollars in the state, and more of it in your pockets. Also, manufacturing of renewable energy components is a very important part in terms of our job futures. We now have 15 companies employing over 2,000 people making solar manufacturing components. The latest one was just in the paper yesterday, Solo Power, which is establishing a place in Wilsonville, is working with the community college to set up training courses here. We have, in wind, we have corporate headquarters in Portland of Iberdrola and Vestas, two international wind development companies. That's brought another 1,000 jobs to the area. We have 40 companies in Oregon working on batteries and other electric vehicle technologies. Wave energy presents, Oregon has the best sites in the country for wave energy. The size and weight of those facilities when they get built would require that they be built here near the place where they'd be located. There's a Pew Charitable Trust study that last year that said Oregon's the #1 state per capita in green jobs in the country, with over 20,000 jobs, and that our growth in that sector has been 7 times faster than the rest of our economy. So our economy as a whole has been struggling. Green energy has been one of the bright spots and one of the spots that's kept us from more difficult times in our economy. At Clackamas Community College here, you have an energy management and resource program, both a 1-year certificate and a 2-year degree, that I think will be extremely important in terms of the opportunity for jobs in the green sector. Portland Community College, Columbia Gorge Community College, Treasure Valley Community College over in Ontario are looking at similar areas where they can specialize. Like Treasure Valley Community College is focusing on solar installations and small wind installations for small farms. So the green tech economy, which electric vehicles are a key important part, can help us rebound our economy and provide jobs in the future. So let me just conclude that the actions we take, the decisions you make are important. As I said, we spend $14 billion a year on energy, but that bill would be $2 billion higher if it wasn't for the actions that we've taken on energy efficiency and renewable energy. And with the green sector being the fastest growing part of our economy in challenging economic times, your decisions can make a difference on the types of energy we use and the careers you prepare for. We can have a future, energy future that helps our environment, our energy security, and creates jobs. So thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions or elaborate on any of these. Question there.
Yeah, I had 2 questions. One was on the charging systems. You mentioned the 3 different levels.
Yes.
Are those interchangeable? Like if you had an electric car, can you plug into your household one and then use a quick charge from another system?
Yeah, the cars are being developed to be what they call agnostic in terms of technology. Okay. Yeah, so you could get a quick charge on the highway, or wherever there's a quick charger, and then recharge it overnight at home, or if there's a stage 2 one downtown, charge it while you're working. So you could have quick charge stations at rest stops and charge it at your home and have major metropolitan areas. Okay. It's a matter of time, how long it takes to charge. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other question I had is, you'd mentioned there's been, of course, incentives and everything on electric vehicles. Is Salem, are we doing anything to encourage the growth of renewable energy companies as far as tax credits, incentives specifically, or are they just kind of developing here naturally?
Well, no, the tax credits, we do have incentives. In fact, those incentives are up for extension or renewal during this legislative session. Otherwise, some of the credits will sunset at the end of this year. Those have been very important for attracting businesses, and for a lot of the wind energy development that we've had in Oregon as well. And wind's a good example because while we have a good wind resource, it's not as strong as in the mountain states. It's about a 30% capacity. But the cost of transmission, wheeling the power to the populated areas on this side of the mountains, combined with the tax credits, has helped us overcome that disadvantage. And it's when we talk with solar manufacturing companies, when we talk with battery manufacturers, there's three things that are really important to them. One, they want to be in an area that is green. They want an area that they think will be supportive as a culture overall of their efforts. Secondly, money is important because we're competing with other states. So the tax credits, other incentives are important. And third is the workforce. So having a good network of community colleges and universities for training and for research is very important to them.
Okay. And as a final on that, are there direct incentive programs, like does the government actually put out grants or loans for people to start these types of businesses, or is it just a subsidized tax credit type of structure?
There's limited funding, and it is pretty limited for startup for loans, and most of those there is some forgivable loans. For example, the tax credits are more for the capital costs of the companies moving forward. So, and for individuals and businesses to buy their products.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Back there.
Do you know of a website that has all of the available tax credits for Oregon, both state and federal, for solar?
A good one is the Oregon Department of Energy website. They would certainly have the state ones. I don't know if they have all the federal. There are probably some links to the federal Department of Energy. I don't know either website offhand, but you could Google them in, and there's a Oregon.gov is a statewide general website, and then there's a list of state agencies that you can just go down alphabetically.
My concern, I don't know if you can answer the question or not, I'm from the automotive department, but my concern is safety and some of the issues. You're talking 500 volts, and I know that
Yes.
On the technician side, is there legislation about licensing for these people working on these cars that can die very easily? Because an electrician working at 110 volts has to have a license, yet these technicians working on cars aren't required, and we're exceeding those voltages way far, and we're talking DC power.
Yeah.
So what's going on that side?
I'm not really an expert in that area. I know we have come across, we went through the same issue on solar installers in the last few years because you got into questions of whether they had to be licensed electricians or not, and also licensed plumbers for the hot water heating installations for solar. And the result that the legislature took was to establish special licensing in both areas that didn't require an electrician, but did require showing of competence and training in the specific applications you had. And to the extent that we've got some gaps here, and the electric vehicle situation is changing very quickly. I suspect we do have some gaps. I think we're going to need some legislation to address those. Yeah, question all the way back.
Can you address briefly some of the practical considerations that we might have if we're interested in getting a hybrid or a pure electric vehicle? Things like what is their depreciation, the service lifetime, the availability of used cars. Do you have an idea, for example, of the trajectory, the percentage decrease in price per year? And I'm also curious to know what the operating cost per mile is for these cars. For the IRS has said for a gasoline car, it's roughly 50 cents per mile. Do you have a comparable number for the electric and hybrid electric cars?